Hey, it's another week in episode 310, Aussie Tech Heads, 4th of October, 2012. How are you all doing? It's great to be in your ears once again. Now, before we go any further, we've got to say that next week, for those on watching live in the lounge and listening live, it's daylight savings next week. Okay, I want to get that out straight away because I'll forget. But next week, if you're not in Queensland, it's going to be later. The show will be on later. It's still 7:30 Queensland, so that'll be 8:30 Southern States, all right? And for those in Perth, I don't know, 5:30, something like that.
3 hours, isn't it?
5:30.
Something like that. But anyway, those two little voices that you heard are Will and Eric. Hello, boys. How you guys
Evening.
doing?
Good.
We're doing fine. Love Apple, hate Android.
Good. So as you can see, we've had a bit of a debate before the show, and we've got a couple of stories, but we don't want to dwell on it. I think the Apple cycle has just about finished, hopefully. So
No, I've got a story on the next cycle, but you carry on, my friend.
I was actually going through some stories tonight, and I just saw small iPad rumors, and I went, geez, does this ever stop? Does it ever stop? But anyway.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, welcome everyone. Welcome to everyone in the lounge and everyone listening all around the world. So hello, and thanks for joining us. So Aussie Tech Heads, yes, we've got brought to you by the hosting team of Aussie Tech Heads. Jump over there at aussietechheads.com.au/hosting if you're in the market for some web hosting. And look, if you send me an email, because you've got no idea what to do with a bit of space, send me an email. I'll set WordPress up for you, all right? So I'll give you a helping hand, and then all you got to do is learn WordPress rather than learn how to set it all up. So, yeah, good stuff. Now, live.aussietechheads.com.au. You can catch us in the lounge every Thursday night. And video of the show can be seen just by clicking off the front page or YouTube, whatever takes your fancy, aussietechheads.com.au/YouTube. And also thanks to Brad and techwebcast.info for letting us replay the show before Aussie Tech Heads every Thursday. So go and check out techwebcast.info. Great guests every week. Now, right, so we better find out what's going on with these guys. Eric's back at home. How you going, Eric? You survived the Goldie?
Yes. Oh, barely.
You won't do that again.
Oh, geez. Last time you know that old saying, I spent a month there one night.
I'm hearing you. That's what happened last time I went to the Gold Coast too.
Oh, geez. It's not the whole Gold Coast, it's just surface.
Yeah.
Surface paradise.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the people, it'd be beautiful.
Oh, Queensland, yeah, that's right. Queensland, perfect one day, people the next.
That's it.
What's wrong with the people?
Oh, and the surface, have you seen them?
Oh, in surfers, yeah. Well, you will go there. Look, I would recommend that people, I've heard these stories before. I've heard people saying, oh, geez, why would you want to go to the Gold Coast? And you go, where'd you go? They go, oh, surface. Well, there's more to the Gold Coast than surface. Yeah. Well,
That's right.
Yeah, so I reckon, next time, I don't know, try somewhere, I don't know.
Just wait till December and just hang out at schoolies like a real creepy bloke.
Yeah, be a toolie. That's right.
It's a toolie, that's right.
Yeah. So look, service isn't too bad.
Speaking of tools,
can't
see that.
What do you got there?
You see, in this our household, we go through these headphone speakers for the, for whatever, right?
Yep.
And every time you want to buy decent ones with the microphone, click on it, like for the Apple thing.
Yeah.
Apple want to charge you $35, which is a joke. $35, and they go every 6 months. They're gone. So I went on eBay. I bought 10 of them for $45, including shipping.
Well, I've got a different take on that actually. I've bought a few cheap headphones. They've always broke, but these headphones I've got in now actually, these are from the original iPhone 3, and these things are still great. I still prefer these than.
Oh yeah, but that's for you, mate. But when you've got kids, they treat them like shit. That's the problem.
Well, I'm not dragging them in and out, I suppose. But look,
yeah, that's right. My daughter shoves it in and out of her pocket, in and out of her bag, and goes through the wash with her. And I go, come on. So I'm not paying $35 every time you're an idiot.
No,
so, I don't know how they work on those. If they're just a standard 4-pin mini plug or whatever, but on the most Android phones, they're either USB or the 4-pin mini. The best ones I had were Sony in-ear ones instead of just a flat one.
Sony are very good. Yep.
They were, and they had a microphone on them. They had actually a stereo mic.
That was up. They're about $19 or $15.
you can get them if you bulk buy 10 of them. You can get them for about $3 each.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And they've got metal.
Are they Sony or are they?
No, they're proper
Sony?
Sony, because the cheap Sony ones just have a normal plastic cord. These metal ones, these Sony ones actually have a metal plug and a metal little retainer, and coming out of the earpieces, they've got little springs and stuff on them. And you can actually grab them and fairly well reef on them, and they keep working.
Well, I'll do that next time, I think. The Sennheiser ones are pretty good too. And they're really reasonably cheap at retail.
The only thing the only ones that I like better than the Apple 3G ones are the Apple 5 ones. I love them ones.
The Apple 5 ones are pretty good. I don't know how long they'll last. I don't know what their wear and tear ability is, but as far as the fit in your ear, it's pretty good.
But the problem with all headphones is they're too damn short. The cord's too short.
I've had to drag my mixer closer to me because the thing's on about 6 inches.
Yeah, I've had to buy. You get on eBay, Eric, and buy an extension. I bought like a 3-meter extension. That's what you were using last week. One of those extensions.
I might get an extension. I can go to the shops and still have it plugged into my mixer.
See, this one here, I've taken them off so I can't hear you now, but these are Behringer ones. These are HPS 3000s.
I had a pair of those.
Obviously, they're over the ear ones, which I've started to prefer again because they get cleaner sound. But they come with a 3-meter cord straight up. So
that's not bad. Yeah, I like the over the ear ones better. You do get a good sound.
They're hot, like especially in doing this sort of thing where you're wearing them for an hour or two at a time.
You've got to take off one ear every now and again. Yeah,
they do, but they are definitely a cleaner sound, and they're noise cancelling as well. So that helps.
That's good. But yeah, it's too small, too short, because I put them in me shorts. You know, go for a walk or something, and every time you turn your head, you yank one ear out. So they're So
it's too short. Too short when you're wearing shorts because you keep popping out.
Yeah, that's right. Something like that. Something like that. Now, just as a side note, I just thought, and one of you will get amusement out of this, and one of you won't. But I bought the iPhone just in time because the Samsung, I think, has actually died. It died through the week. That
makes me very happy.
Well, Izzy was playing it. It's in just a continual boot. So
were you trying to do something other than playing Angry Birds?
Yeah, it was that food lentils or something? But yeah, so it's finally I re-modged it or C-modged it or whatever you wanted it. But I'll get the next one, the latest Cyanogen, and I'll put that on and see if it'll reboot. But I did reinstall the Cyanogen that was on there and nothing happened. So maybe I didn't.
Actually, it'd be good if you go for Cyanogen Mod 10 because they've just released their new ROM and it supports over-the-air updating. So there'll be no more having to go and actually download it and install it onto your boot ROM. You can literally just click the button and do it over the air. So it'll update regularly like a proper OS update.
Now, what's that just behind your head there, Will? That's a little Jack Daniels. Is that booze or is that tomato sauce? Or what is that?
Well, these are actually empty. These were promos that the hang on. These were promos that the bottles come in.
Oh, so it was a bottle. Oh, it just looked smaller back there. I thought it might have been some of that sauce.
Yeah, I don't have that in here, obviously, but I do actually have the JD steak sauce and something else they come with, yeah.
I don't rave about it. You like it?
You know it's a good steak sauce, Will, from South Africa? It's called Mrs. Balls.
I've seen it.
It is beautiful.
I've seen it. I haven't had it.
Do you need
really
balls
good.
to eat it?
Called Mrs. Balls from South Africa.
Yeah, is it hot or anything, or it's just
no? It's nice. Like a chutney, come barbecue sauce, come tomato sauce. Really nice.
Right. Oh yeah, good.
A South African person that I know put me onto it. I went to a barbecue at her place a couple of years ago, and she said, "Eric, ever try this, mate?" I said, "Just don't put it on too much because you'll have to leave by 9."
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's great. We should get you for doing more character voices.
Just on a South African thing. My youngest, there's a lot of South Africans around here where we live, right?
Yeah.
My youngest daughter went to a sleepover party. She's 6. And she told me a story when she got back. This was a couple of weeks ago. She said, Dad, Jade's father came in to want to play with us, because he was mucking around. And he said, and he came into the room and goes, "Girls, can I come and play in your party?" She did the accent and everything. It was so funny. and then on the way out, I said to the mother, she said, "What time should I pick her up in the morning?" She goes, "Oh, around 9."
Oh, bring Tony Gregg
Oh,
round.
dear.
Now I'll tell
Anyway.
you. Now I've got to tell you is I got a tweet yesterday from a follower, from a listener, Asher Charles, and he goes to me, "Does your iPhone make a little rattle noise when you tap the camera?" And I went, "I don't know." So I tapped the camera and it did, and I went, I said back to him, I said, "Well,
What? Sorry, I missed that. What was the question?
it makes." He said, "Does my iPhone, does your phone make a rattling noise when you tap the camera?"
The camera icon or the camera at the
No,
back?
on the back, the case.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the focal lens.
It's a floating lens
Yeah,
or
that's-
something.
It's not a rattle.
It's
It's just
a
little,
proper
like a
optical
little sound.
lens.
Yeah, so anyway, I said yes, thanks for pointing that out. And he went to the Genius Bar today, and I've just got a tweet just before because I asked him to let me know how it went. And he's tweeted they are replacing it. Didn't have any in stock. So
Really?
there you go. So
They're replacing it because the optical.
That's
Focus
ridiculous. It makes no
lens.
difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's it obviously, I don't know, there must be an issue.
Even I have trouble finding that as a fault.
Yeah, look, it's not a fault, Will. It's ridiculous.
not.
You definitely hear a sound, but
My
it's got moving
my-
parts in there. What do you expect?
Yeah. My phone does it. Any phone that uses an optical focus or an optical
right.
zoom will
That's right.
have moving parts. I mean, that's
My
just-
Nikon D90, which cost me $2,500, rattles. I'm
Yeah.
not taking that back.
No.
Well, I'm gonna have to investigate this further.
Anyway, now we're on iPhones, Glenn. When I was at your thingo, at your place, I was on the way home and I had an iPhone 5 and an iPhone 4, and together it looked like an old man with a young chick, right?
Yeah.
So I had to upgrade the other one.
Oh, you didn't.
Oh, I did.
Oh, dear.
Oh dear. Eddie.
So I couldn't get them anywhere, right? Couldn't get them anywhere.
Yeah.
Telstra's out of stock. I'm not going to go to Optus. I didn't even try there. They didn't have any anyway.
Why would
Vodafone,
you?
not
You
on
wouldn't have bought
4G,
one
so
from
they
Optus
didn't bother.
anyway. Yeah.
On the Apple Store, reserve an iPhone.
Yep.
And then you can pick your carrier. I reserved it. I got an email that day saying, come pick it up tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all right.
Next day,
That's
which
pretty
carrier do you want? Telstra? Sure, go. Bang. 10 minutes I was out of there.
Nice. Nice.
Same
Yeah, what
plan
the-
as Telstra that was operating. It was brilliant. They logged straight into Telstra's system. It was sensational.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, what they're doing, what the hold up is that exact reason. They have to put the provider info on it, and that's why they're not just giving Telstra 10 million phones and someone else 10 million. They're holding them in their warehouse and then they're sending them out as required.
As required. But not only that, I think it's also in their interest to have them in the Apple stores because it drives traffic into their stores. And while you're picking up an iPhone, who knows? Hopefully you'll walk out with something else. So it's
Yeah,
very
like a
clever.
case for $75 or something.
They're not selling cases. There are no cases. I have to go to JB Hi-Fi
Really?
to get a case. JB Hi-Fi, the only ones with the cases. They're really nice too.
Oh, they're out. They're out of cases. Oh my goodness. So, well, let's start getting into some stories. Do we have any stories while
All
we're
right,
on
good
that?
night, fellas.
I've already slipped one in there about the Cyanogen mod, so you didn't even notice that.
No, well, no, I didn't. But look, I don't know. Let's look. I've got two Apple stories. All right, two. So we'll leave them for a little bit later. We'll just get some other stuff out of the way. How about the con man who has pleaded guilty to selling fake Facebook shares?
Yes.
So the feds.
Why did you do it, Glenn?
Quick buck. Now, the feds originally nabbed Matera, this guy Matera, in South Florida, blah, blah, blah. He is scheduled to be sentenced for his most recent con in February and is expected he will get 10 to 12 years in prison.
Is that all?
Yeah, he's done a lot. Now, apparently, I heard it actually made the normal news, or whatever you want to call it, the mainstream news. The mainstream news I was listening to was reporting that because he invested in, I think he did in the hedge funds and stuff like this, and he was obviously just investing for himself. But apparently, as the mainstream news was reporting, was that his investment has made more money than you would have made more money with him than if you had just had the real Facebook shares.
So can they really get him for? I mean, they can get him for fraud for the incorrect shares, but if he's actually putting a return,
No, but
on
he wasn't.
shares?
He was buying
okay.
stuff for himself.
Probably a Ponzi.
Yeah, he was buying stuff for himself, but he was still apparently did all right. Better than
called
the
commission.
Facebook should actually make him work without pay for 10 years. That they're
Oh, in
Headquarters, I
jail.
think-
That's exactly what he'll be doing. He'll be working for no pay for 10 years. Don't worry.
Yeah, but at Facebook, I think they probably could use him at the moment.
They
Need
need
to ramp
something.
up their shares.
Now, apparently, did you see? Apparently, Zuckerberg, the only guy who he'll put a tie on for is the Russian president. What a sucker!
Why the
Yes.
Russian president? The Russian president's an absolute tool.
Yeah,
Why would you
Every
want to-
time, yeah, but he's into freedom of information. So, but yeah, every time you see him, he's in that blue shirt or whatever it is. Apparently,
Grey,
owns
grey,
like
blue, whatever it
20
is.
of them or something.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's that. And now look, we've all had. Well, I don't know. Probably everyone here's probably had a phone call saying that your computer's got a virus in it. And you know,
I haven't. I've never had one,
You've
I
never
haven't had one. I haven't had one here. I have
and
one
I
at
haven't
our
made
house.
one to anyone lately either.
Well, that's no good. Well, that's
Which
probably
is
it.
lucky, really.
Well, anyway, it's a scam. We all know it's a scam, and people just keep
Listen up, podcasters from all around the world, especially you people in Australia. Listen to what Glenn has to say because it's a scam. Watch out.
So I think we've spoken about it before. I think we're all aware of what. So people ring
Oh,
up.
you'd be surprised how many people have no idea.
The Indians are ringing up, and the Pakis, and they're saying to us that we've got viruses. Where our computer is reporting viruses to their servers, and so they say, "Listen, can you just give us remote control of your computer, and we'll fix it." So then they get in and they bung on some spyware, and they also bung on a few other viruses that then they
Keyboard, keystroke loggers, and everything.
yeah, and then
And then
they
they charge you.
yeah they ring up 2 months later and said, "Oh, listen, we've noticed you still got a virus on your computer. We'll get rid of it for 200. It's one they've put on."
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they've
that's
made
right.
they've made squillions out of this.
Oh yeah,
Squillions.
massive amounts of money.
But
You know, what's actually funny is, well, not funny, but when I was reading the article, basically they said, you know, all their gear's been confiscated. We've taken all their electronic stuff, all their computers, basically all their software. We've raided their houses, taken their cars, done a whole lot. But there's nothing to say because they made so much money that they won't have it up and running again tomorrow. We've got no way of stopping them.
yeah, well,
So I thought that was good.
well, apparently, joint action between 3 international regulators has thwarted a massive global phone scam. The Australian Communications and Media Authority, the US Federal Trade Commission, and the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission collaborated to share key intelligence about the operations of the Microsoft imposters. Now, the scam was one of the most commonly reported scams in 2011, computer hacking scams contributing more than 23% to the total scam reports that were reported to the ACCC. Now, this thing netted these guys estimated, because there's no real figure, but estimated about something like $80 million. And it was just really concentrated in those 3 countries, but mainly down here in Australia, because we were the bunnies, we were the testers. So we came through with flying colours, I think.
Now,
we got
Frosty's
scammed.
very attentive in the chat room. Can you put that logo of the keyboard back up again? Because he missed something incredibly obvious that obviously none of us, or he got something none of us have seen. Yeah,
that?
you're right.
Scam. Thank you.
What?
There's 2 C's on that keyboard.
Oh, but it's a graphic. Well, you could have just took the bottom C out,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a defective keyboard.
or you could have took the red C out and put a P there.
Actually, what we need is to actually have those keyboards in real life and give them to people.
Yeah. I remember.
If you get a phone call, press these 4 buttons.
Well, I remember, and it's probably still the case. Like I remember when I was at work and computers were just sort of coming in, and especially all the oldies, they don't know what they're doing with computers. So we used to take the arrow keys off and point them the wrong way. They got terribly lost. But anyway,
It was funny. Our type. I know it's a bit of a sidetrack. Our teacher who was teaching us how to use keyboard at school claimed he was a really good touch typer. The easiest way in the world to mess them up is take the keys off and swap them around. If it's a true touch typer, it won't interfere with them. But if they're not a touch typer, they'll have no clue.
But it would, because you'd have to leave the
You leave your home keys.
Yes, you'd have to leave the home
Yeah.
keys, and then you'd be right. Then you'd know.
Yeah.
Now, I'll just finish my scam story. Now,
Right.
because it's only just quickly, because if you want to report a scam, now look, I've taken these calls and I've never thought about reporting it, but I suppose you can report it, and I suppose it's probably a good idea. So you can report scams to the ACCC via the Scam Watch webpage, or by calling 1300 795 995. That's a 1300 795 995 for the cost of 30 cents. And I think, didn't I get a letter to say that has now gone up? Has it gone up to 35 cents?
Probably. Depends on where you ring it from. It's probably $11 from a mobile.
Yeah, don't do it from a mobile. Don't do it from a
That's
mobile.
only if you're on an Android.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, scam watch, yeah.
Now, what is
I
anyone
saw
else?
somebody on an iPhone.
Yeah. Can you see that? Can you see that speed test there?
Yeah.
You'll have to read it out what the figures are. What are the figures?
53 down, 28 up.
Now, I hate to give you a bit of bad news, but there has been tests and studies done over the last 2 weeks, and they're saying that the Galaxy S3 actually delivers faster network connection speeds than the iPhone 5 over LTE.
All right, good story. Next story, please.
It does, but the reason for that is because it's a separate chip, whereas iPhone, as in 99% of the cases with other phones, used a combined network slash modem slash Bluetooth slash GPS. So, but because the new phone uses an actual separate chip, so they get a cleaner signal. But it's not anything to do. I mean, what are you going to do with 50 meg on a phone? Seriously.
I'm downloading a lot of apps. I've got this app. I've got this app, Fair Income. It's so good. I do it every day, every single day, and it's called App Gone Free. And then what it does, it'll give you a selection of apps every day that are free, that are normally you pay for, but they're free today, and it's not too bad. App Gone Free. I've got some really good like little photo apps from it. You know, like merge your photos around and put different filters.
Because you need 47 of the same app.
No,
Yeah,
but they're
that's
all
right.
got different filters.
5 fart apps, don't you?
No, well, I don't do fart apps, but
You don't need to.
You make your own.
I've got well, I do. So, all right. So, are you guys going to do a story, or do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, I can do
Go
that.
for it.
You got anything? No? Eric? No? Okay.
Yes.
That's
Oh, yeah.
fine.
Talking to me? Sorry.
Yeah. Have you got a story?
I was just admiring my speed on my phone.
If only you had your speed of your paperwork.
I did an LTE the other day. I had full bars, and I got about 56 down and about 38 up.
Oh, that's right. And the that test was only with 4 out of the 5 bars.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's fast.
I think
That's fast. That's good.
here it's where I'm in Ipswich. We're right on the end of the signal for decent speed. So I think I only get like, I don't know, 1.5 meg up and 6 meg down or something. But if I'm in the middle of the city, just on normal 3G, because I'm not like, technologically advanced like you two, just on normal 3G, I get about 30 down and 5 up.
That's pretty good.
So that's fine.
Oh, look, yeah, that's right. That's fine. But yeah, it's great. Look, I am iPhone or not, I'm happy with mine. It's at least I've got a phone now that works. It's just great. I love it. It works. I can.
What
do
I'm
stuff
kind
on
of getting annoyed with actually is I'm paying ridiculous amount of money to have a supposed high speed connection at home, where it tops out at a bit over 1 up. I might get 100 meg down, but I'm only getting like 1 meg up.
Yeah, 100 down is useless if you're only getting 1 up.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely useless. And
You might as well you'd be happy with 20 down if that was the case.
yeah, and I was listening to Tech News Today on the Twitter network, and they were saying he's on a cheap connection, and he's getting 10 gigabits a second synchronous.
Yeah, up and down.
Jeez.
Like,
I know,
really?
I'd be happy with that for $30 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez, yeah.
10 up and down, that is solid stuff.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But all right. So let's try and get away from them a bit.
All right, here you go. Okay, here we go. There's a bit of a hoo-ha in the Philippines. Media groups and Filipinos stepped up calls for repealing a tough new law that targets cybercrime, but activists fear will be used to suppress online freedom, because they're very corrupt over there. The Cybercrime Prevention Act took effect Wednesday despite last-minute petitions. The law is envisioned as a measure against hacking, identity theft, etc., etc. The law contains a provision that says libel, which is already punishable by 6 years in prison for libel, God, I'd be in trouble. I'd be locked up for the rest of my life. It doubles cumulative penalties for online offences and allows government agencies to seize, search, and destroy computer data deemed libelous. So this sounds. Is this the Philippines or Australia? What am I?
Yeah, well, who knows? I think you go and ask old Nicola. She's got some bright ideas.
Oh, I don't want to talk to Nicola. Nicola, no election rocks on.
Julia doesn't want to talk to Alan. What's going on?
No, that love affair's finished.
That's gone. She'll be back. She'll come crawling back.
Oh, by the way, tomorrow, Julia Gillard is holding a forum, get this, on the digital economy. Like she would have a clue. She's probably still using BlackBerry or worse, Android.
Well, just so happens, I've got a story about BlackBerry.
Oh, good. Go.
It must be the only one.
That's the only one in the whole world. How'd you find it?
Well, BlackBerry Research in Motion RIM has announced a BlackBerry trade-in program for businesses. Business customers planning to upgrade to BlackBerry 7 handsets. The BlackBerry website offering up to $100 cash per device, but for customers retiring 6 or more BlackBerries.
Oh, who?
Six or more.
I tell you what, they don't laugh. They'll have a gold rush.
Oh yeah.
There'll be people lining up out the door to trade in all their
People will
BlackBerries.
go dumpster diving and everything.
That's right.
But you gotta buy another one though.
Who would want to?
Yeah, trade in 6, get 1. It's not a bad deal, really.
Trade in 6, get 1, walk out around the corner, get pissed off, throw it in the bin, get an iPhone.
But no, you won't get $100 then.
I was watching a show on TV the other day, and it dates it really badly because everyone is carrying BlackBerries around. And you're like,
yes.
wow,
Yes.
there was like a 2-year period where that happened.
Yes. You know what's worse? That when they use the current shows, and I'll name one called, I don't know if anyone watches NCIS, which is a great show. I like it.
Yeah.
With Mark Harmon. And these are current shows, current season. And they've all got flip phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on?
That's because they don't want people tracking them with inbuilt GPS.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, great.
If
I'm
you
suffering from droopage here.
if you're with a company who's got a heap of BlackBerries and you want to trade up, full terms and conditions, go to the RIMS website and get yourself $100 for 6 phones.
Yeah, go and get rimmed.
That's probably a bargain. You probably wouldn't get 100 for 6 on eBay even. So you
Go and
probably
get rimmed in motion.
I wonder how much
right.
that Gazelle would give the people for the phones over in the US.
Go and
They're
have a
not
look. You can go on their
bad,
website
actually.
and have a little. Just type in, BlackBerry Bold 9000. Good condition box. Tick everything, saying got everything. It's brand new, hardly used. And they'll probably say you owe us money.
Yeah, you owe us plus postage.
That's right, because we don't want to stock that garbage.
Well, let me have a look. Let's see if we can pull up the Gazelle website. I don't even know what the page is. Gazelle.
Don't sell it, gazelle it.
Gazelle.
Oh, gee.
I wish we had that here.
It's a good idea.
They have tried a couple of various.
Hang on, hold the phones. Joseph's got a BlackBerry playbook.
The playbooks aren't bad,
Oh,
but that's not a phone.
Yeah, I know,
really.
but it's not a tablet either.
All right.
It's a crossbreed.
Oh,
we
it's
go.
hot. It is definitely a crossbreed.
But
Here we go.
but
Cell phones. Here we
while
go.
Glenn's
BlackBerry
doing that,
Rim.
we did actually have a
AT&T.
gazelle style thing here.
What number, Eric? What model?
9000. Bold 9000 or 9900. That's all right.
Is that the one that they're trading in?
Get an offer that one. Yeah, that one. That's fine.
They're all much and muchness, really.
They're all I think the 99000 is the latest. Good. No, good. Just
Oh, is it
give it
flawless?
The best. Flawless. Okay.
Free of water damage.
broken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Calculate. $162.
There you go.
So you can sell them for $160, or you can trade 6 of them in for $100.
Yeah, I think you'd be going.
I know who won't be lining up for that offer. That'd be Gazelle, because they've just paid you 162. They're not going to line up for 6.
Well, if they've just paid you 162, and then they service the phone, clear the data, check it out, and then on-sell it, I mean, they must be getting at least $250 for them.
Oh, they would be between 2 and
But
250.
who's
I reckon.
buying them?
eBay?
Fools.
Well,
No,
the people-
you know what
not
they do
eBay,
is
the people on eBay.
they export them to third world countries, Africa, Asia, places like that.
I don't know if they do that with
200.
smartphones. Really?
Do you know what I
I
reckon?
know they do it with They do it with the normal technology, but with stuff like that, I don't know if they would.
I reckon there's all there would be. This is
Thank you, Jossie. I've noticed.
Governments.
This is coming from an uneducated viewpoint, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some government injection of money for like recycling tech waste.
Oh, there is. I mean, obviously they get
Some
a charity
subsidy.
benefit as well for sending stuff overseas. So, I mean, they're not. They're certainly not broke.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
not
they're
going to
making
obviously not
money.
lose.
Don't worry about that.
They're not losing money. They wouldn't be doing it. Now,
Jossie says he
problem.
paid $0 for an iPad.
A couple of these companies have tried in Australia, but they don't have the incentives. They don't have the. They don't have the voluntary
We don't have the
things. They don't
mass.
have the export. They don't have the recycling incentives. So
We don't
Yeah.
have the mass here either.
yeah, that's,
We're all pretty lazy.
Yeah,
we
well,
just
that's
go,
true,
stuff it.
yeah, but we don't have the mass as like to sell it to on sell them to people. Like, what's America?
well,
100
according to
million?
I mean, according to the
300 million.
yeah.
Jeez.
According to the latest statistics, every Australian household has four smartphones per
Yeah.
household, not
Yeah,
including landlines.
Well, there's 6 in this house.
Yeah, well, there's three or four here.
If I was to send my iPhone to them, I would get $366.
There you go.
So there
that
you go.
pretty
That'd be
much
interesting.
reflects the stock price.
I vaguely remember reading somewhere that if you pay shipping, they will take it. That was like
From
12
here?
months ago, but it might be worth looking into.
I'll pay shipping. You can get cheap FedEx rates to the States.
Well, it's got
Yeah.
free shipping on the side here, free shipping, but who knows about
Doesn't-
overseas?
Now, if you're in America, it's free shipping. They send you the box and everything, but maybe from outside of America, you've got to pay for shipping. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, depends what you got, but you can use one of those addresses that you use. Now, other people that have been losing money and all just about gone cracked up is Kodak. They're gone crazy. Now they're this week they've said that it plans to stop selling inkjet printers. So
I didn't know they sold them.
That's exactly what I said. I thought. Did they
The
sell
only
them?
ones, that picture showing there, the only ones I knew they sold was the photo ready, like 6x4 sort of printers.
Okay. Well,
Because
there you
see, their Easy Share, that's what their cameras are, and you just dock the camera straight on top.
go. Well, they're
But
going
you know what's amazing? At one point, I'm just reading off Glenn's notes here, they had 60,000 people. They'll come out of bankruptcy as a much leaner company, but they'll still have 13,000 employees. That is still
That's a lot.
bloody big company.
Yeah, that's the
That's,
that's a lot.
bigger than
For a
some of
bankrupt
our,
company.
that's bigger than some of our largest companies in Australia.
So let's do a quick. Was it 13,000 people? Where's calculator on this iPhone? Hang on, calculator. Now I want to go 13,000. So say the average weekly wage.
No, just 50 grand a year, mate.
Okay,
50 grand a
times
year.
50 grand.
Too many zeros.
650 million.
Yeah. What's the payroll tax bill on that?
Yeah. Whew.
Well, actually, they don't have payroll tax because they're sensible.
Yeah. Well, whatever. But yeah, that's about all I wanted to say about that.
So
Oh,
if their wages bill is 650 million, that represents a third of their expenses. Their total expenses would have to be 1.8 billion to make a profit of 10% on turnover. They'd have to be turning over at least $3 billion a year. It's still a pretty big company.
yeah. Well, imagine 60,000 people. 60,000.
Well, that'd be like 7 rolls of film, wouldn't it?
No, that's the developing costs will get you.
Oh, the
That's a
iPhone.
chemist.
How's it? The calculator can't calculate 60,000 people times $50,000.
No, turn it on its side, dude.
Yeah,
Turn
go
on-
into scientific mode.
Turn on its side. Landscape.
50,000 times 60,000 equals 3 billion. Is that right? 3,000 million.
Yeah,
3 billion.
3
Wow.
billion. Thought it'd be more than that. I thought it'd be like 30 billion.
But anyway, that's what the printer looks like, a piece of crap. And they're going to concentrate on their the commercial printing. And also, another, as a footnote to that article, is Lexmark apparently said last month that it's going to stop making inkjet printers also and focus on its more profitable imaging and software businesses.
I had a Lexmark
Yeah.
printer. They were pretty good.
I've still
Yeah.
got one.
I
It's a
didn't like
scanner thing.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
They're going to. We'll see. Lexmark now they have a new technology? We saw it at the trade show a couple of years back. They have a new technology where they actually use wax blocks and melt them down to make toner. So they can actually make ink instantly now, cheaper and renewable, and there's no waste product other than basically a bit of wax. So they're going to focus on those sort of technologies and get away from the disposable technologies.
Well, that's not a bad idea because you make your product and leftover wax, you give yourself a Brazilian. Beautiful.
All right, now have you guys all got Aussie Tech News on your Twitter feed? I reckon jump in there and get that. It puts two little stories into your Twitter feed every half an hour or thereabouts. And if I come across something interesting through today, I'll pop that in as well. So if you want a couple of news, keep up to date through the week and just follow at Aussie Tech News. Now we've got another review from Garth this week. Well, maybe a review because we've been a bit light on with iOS reviews of late. Even though I've just given you an ad hoc one just before. What's that one I like? App free app or something? What's app going?
Yeah, that's a great app. That one.
Oh, every day. Every day, Will. Every day. And and also before we go to Garth, don't forget the paper that's out twice a day at aussietechheads.com.au/paper. Read that on your iPad then. And that's good. It's got all stories. It's not just tech stories. It's business stories, social media, blah, 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 a couple of videos. All put together rather nicely. And that's from some software, some little crazy thing called paper.li. So go and have a look at that. That's good. Now, let's see if we can find Garth around here somewhere. I did have him here before, but who knows? I can't find the window. He's here somewhere. Here he is. We'll go and see what he's got for us this week. Yes, and thank you. We're back again. Tune In Radio. Garth, how you doing?
Hey, Glenn. Tune In Radio Pro or Tune In Radio. It's just read the title and you pretty much know the app, you know.
Tune into your radio.
Tune into your radio. So it lets you tune into radio streams from all over the world, basically. So you can just search by your local region and it'll pull any radio streams that are in from, it'll use your location to see where you are and check. So, I know a lot of people use it just that way. But you can, of course, search for radio stations all over the world or just browse by country, whatever.
Offers over 60,000 stations and 2 million on-demand programs for you to choose from.
Youch. So you can use it for all your podcasts as well.
Yeah, right.
A lot of the, the Twit network, a lot of the podcasts, that'll also be in there. So you can just, stream them through the app. So you're only ever streaming rather than downloading anything. And actually, I'll bring that point up because I was going for a drive with a girlfriend the other day, to work, and she was using the app. I said, "Oh, it doesn't use too much of your data, does it? How much? Because you seem to use it a fair bit." And I'm just wondering how much it used. And she said, "What do you mean? It's just the radio, not using any data."
So it does use data.
Oh, of course it uses data.
Yes.
I just wanted to point out that just because it's a radio station,
it's
on your iPhone and
now that's been a bit of a bugbear, hasn't it, with iOS people, is that you can't just use the phone as a radio.
Well, I guess it may be a bugbear for some people, but I don't know. Phones, I guess I used to have feature phones back in the day that had FM tuners in them.
Yeah.
But what, do phones still have? Do people still get phones with FM tuners? I don't know.
Oh, I just know a particular person that wants it.
Really wants it badly. Yeah.
Well, I said to him, it doesn't. Well, how many? What's the bandwidth that this would take up to download a radio to stream?
Oh, look, they're probably only 64K streams or something.
Yeah, it'd be negligible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
not much,
you could probably have it going all day and it wouldn't really hurt, would it?
Yeah, that's right. But I knew she didn't have much of a data plan, so I was just checking on it.
Yeah. So
but the thing was, she didn't even know at all that it was using the data. So
you can get there's a free version and the pro version.
Yep.
Pro version is 99 cents. With the pro version, you can record, pause, and rewind a station you were listening to. So that might come in handy.
So it'll buffer. It'll buffer a fair bit, and you go, oh, what was that they were just saying on the radio?
Pause live streams up to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It just keeps it buffered there. So that's actually that would be pretty handy, especially if, a certain person in your life, Glenn, likes these competition lines, I hear.
Yep.
And so if a phone number came up and wanted to jump back and say, what was that phone number? I had to ring for this competition?
Yep, get back into it.
Your uncle.
Yeah. What else does it do? Shake the phone to hear new stations.
You're just random.
Share a station, share a song with your friends on Facebook or Twitter. Wake up every day using the alarm clock. Play your stations in the background. Stream your stations to an AirPlay compatible receiver.
There you go. There's another use for your old
The AirPlay.
AirPlay.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it a lot. All right. Tune in radio. Only
get it.
on the App Store. See you later. All right. Thanks, Garth. He'll be back pretty soon again.
Oh, you're going to love that, mate. You're going to AirPlay Lawsy.
Oh, Lawsy. How good's he? Did you see him on the...
No, the ABC. I want to watch that. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I think he's taking the piss out of himself, which is good.
Well, nothing wrong with that. Because you're going to laugh at yourself.
He's sitting there with looked like a bourbon and Coke or something, and he's sipping away. As he's...
He was it was a Scotch. A Scotch.
He loves it. He loves it. He was on Kyle and Jackie O's show this morning because they both did the same interview at the same time, if you know what I mean. But
no.
Well, while he was talking to them, broadcast out on Melbourne, he was broadcasting the conversation out in Sydney on each other's shows. All right. Now, how would you like to get a loan to start selling some of your goods online? Well, apparently, Amazon is the place to go. Now, the new program that Amazon is offering is called Amazon Lending. And now what it is yes, Amazon will lend people the money to, they come up in the Christmas, they need more stock, they might not have the cash flow. So, yeah, go and have a chat to Amazon. Now, I don't know if this is in Australia, but it's probably just over in the US at the moment. But some online merchants lack upfront cash to buy all the inventory. That's what I just said. So blah, blah, blah. So it's lending. Amazon is lending up to $800,000 to some merchants. It's a lot of money. The company is charging some sellers interest rates of up to 13%, but some other merchants are being offered rates as low as 1%. So
the bigger the merchant, the lower the interest rate. That's usually how it works.
The bigger the merchant, the more they can afford not to pay interest.
Yeah, but geez, that's a different direction, isn't it? I'm not sure. Why would they be going in that direction? I suppose.
Get more stuff on their stores.
Look at cash converters. Cash converters give you, stuff against, or they just give you cash and it's like 33% interest.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
So obviously there'd be security and stuff involved.
Oh, all the normal criteria that comes to getting a loan, I would imagine.
But that was
I think it's probably not a bad idea if you're doing a lot of online trading because it kind of gives you a buffer. If you're a smaller business, it'll give you that buffer because you could use Amazon checkout in and out, so you can use it both ways.
Yeah, and you're going to stock up, for the Christmas rush, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's probably not necessarily a bad thing, actually. If you use correctly, like a credit card, used correctly, that's a very valuable thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But what sort of, what sort of goes through my mind is if people can't get money from the bank and they've got to go to these sort of people, there's obviously a reason why they can't get money from the bank.
Well, I would suggest
a lot of people
that
don't want to get money from the bank.
Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking that they don't. It's not necessarily they can't get money from me. They might prefer to get it from Amazon because it's easy. It's all one-stop shop. My goods are there. My merchant facility's there. Stuff that I put my loan there too. Make one phone call and it's all done.
Yeah, good do. But anyway, so they're going to obviously make some cash. Now talking about cash, ANZ has rolled out new customer-facing tech. ANZ has kicked off.
What does that mean? Customer-facing tech.
Well, I think it's all to do with like ATMs and stuff.
And ATMs?
They're intelligent ATMs. So anyway, let me finish.
Slap you in the face if you overdraw your account.
It's a $1.5 billion transformation program that will see the bank roll out intelligent ATM machines with video conferencing to regional branches and run another trial of contactless mobile payments. Now, the trial of contactless mobile payments is a test group of 25 people. So how do you like that?
That's basically the ICC chips or whatever they are in the mobile phone.
Yeah, but who's accepting contact payment things?
Well, that's right. If you don't have anywhere where there's point, what's the bother?
Well, no, anywhere where there's swipe and go, like Macca's and most places, they have the swipe and go things. I think it's only Commonwealth and ANZ.
Well, I know the Sydney Cricket Ground has PayWave.
Yeah, same thing.
Those.
That's MasterCard, isn't it? Oh no, that's Visa.
Visa.
No, it's Visa.
And the other one, Pay and Go, is MasterCard.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
They should just standardise this,
I know.
Betamax and VHS, just one bloody standard.
They are standardised in terms of one will work on the other one. It's just different providers. It's the same as when you press credit on a FPOS machine. It still works. They're just different providers.
Yeah, fair enough. As long as that's the case, that's fine.
But having said that, I mean, they charge you differently at the other end. Like our FPOS machine for work, if you're paying with MasterCard, we charge you 1% because they charge us 1% on top of the transaction, whereas Visa don't. So
the new ATMs are designed to replace face-to-face interaction for basic teller functions, including cash and check deposits and digital imaging technology used to determine note type and quantity. They are also capable of using biometric and near-field communication technology, although the 800 initial machines would require add-ons to make this functionality available. Whoopie-doo.
now I'm just curious, but saying how it's got note recognition technology. Last week it was revealed that we're heading towards new notes.
Oh.
So,
Yes.
and if you go and have a look at them, they're completely different. They're different sizes, different textures. You got different people.
I want to
on
go
them.
back to paper notes.
Yeah, I like paper.
I love the paper note. Every time I go to America, they've got those beautiful greenbacks. I tell you what, you want to kiss them.
What's
the English pounds. So as the currency goes up, the notes get bigger,
Yeah, that's right.
a lot bigger.
Well, when I was in Bali, I took out $100. I needed a wheelbarrow.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, heck,
Yeah.
I don't
Look,
know.
it was a million rupiah.
Yeah,
It was a
right.
million. Seriously. I took 100. My wife took out 100. I took out 100, and you couldn't fit it in your jeans pocket. It's ridiculous.
Now, I don't know if I
Yeah.
can actually get you this picture. I'm going to try. But is this
There's,
the ones that you're talking about, Will? Hang on, can you see that?
if you go to the Australian, it's on their website. I
Hang
think
on.
that's the right page.
Is that the ones?
Yeah, that's them.
Yeah, they're colourful. They're probably not paper. The Reserve Bank of Australia has been working on creating new youthful-looking banknotes. Well, they are youthful. They're very red, green, blue, aren't they? Very childish, if you can use that
Yeah,
word.
they're bright.
The project called Next Generation Banknote is more than 2 years behind schedule. And what else isn't behind schedule in this joint?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The RBA has toyed with the notion of removing Queen Elizabeth II from the $5 note in favour of subjects including Eric Franco and William Tompkinson.
That's right.
Well, there you go.
Like people like they're taking people off like the Queen. They're putting on people like Henry Parkes, who was the father of Federation, because we all know that. Or Australia's
We
first.
do now.
Or Australia's first female political candidate, which is Catherine Helen, because we all knew that as well, Catherine Helen
Yeah.
Spence. So
Oh, please
they're
don't
taking
tell
off-
me they're going to put the current Prime Minister on there.
the note's not read enough. So they're taking off
She'd
people we
blend
don't
in.
know, and they're putting on people we don't know.
Yeah. Why can't we just go back to like Henry Lawson and Charles Kingsford Smith and all that stuff?
and Charles Namadajira.
Peter Brock and
Yeah. Paul
hey,
Hogan.
speaking of Peter Brock should go on the $50 note because it's the 50th anniversary of Bathurst this year.
Oh, there you go. Well, why can't they do notes? Is it too much to ask to do like special notes for the year? You know how they do coins? Is it
Yeah.
not the same with notes? Is it too?
Probably not. Maybe not the same.
too
No, it'd be a bit different because
different.
they've already got the. See, coins aren't numbered, so that's kind of their numbering system, whereas notes are sequentially or randomly numbered.
Now, iView is still lacking on the Android platform. ABC.
Oh no!
How would you know?
I said oh no.
Oh, right. I thought you said, oh, I know. ABC TV is still working on a version of its iView streaming service for Android with no release date set for the app yet. Now, over 1 million downloads of iView in June. Now, they're obviously on the iOS. Android, however, the operating system has been challenging for the broadcaster with iView. Now, a statement from the ABC, the fragmentation of the Android platform and the number of devices make it challenging for us to develop, test and support these devices at present. ABC TV also stated it was working towards a redevelopment of iView in HTML5 to more easily target a greater number of Android devices and screen sizes and other mobile platforms. We have limited resources and are a small team. So you don't agree with that, Will? You reckon they should be able to bung one out straight away?
If I can go to the iView website now and watch it on my phone without an app, how hard is it to make it work with an app? Seriously, that's just a letter. It's basically what it is obviously everybody develops their iPhone app first. And that's true. Just virtually every app that comes out on the iPhone first. And then they get a second-rate version on the Android, which, just to put into perspective, there are more Android devices on the market than iOS devices, and they are more flexible. But the problem is they spend all their time, effort, and energy making a pretty-looking app and a functioning app for iOS, and then they
Rush one out
on Android, and then it's buggy for the next 6 months, and nobody uses it, and that's the bad experience people complain about with Android. It's because I don't know why they do it that way around, but that's just about all app manufacturers are guilty of it.
Yep, and God love them too.
So that's part of the problem. I mean, if it was the other way around, if they were all making Android device apps first and then iOS devices, and all the stuff looked crappy on the iPhones and iPads, they'd be hell to pay.
Right.
Well,
Steve Jobs will come out from the grave and smack you one.
things like that looking crappy on the iPhone. Like, yeah.
Well, yeah, but Apple designed that, so they're allowed to.
But Apple chief executive Tim Cook,
that's part of the beauty.
Tim Cook has apologized to customers frustrated with glaring errors in the new map service, and in an unusual move for Apple, directed them to rival services such as Google Maps instead. Ooh,
But it's crap.
dear. But apparently, like, when you read into it, you can see a bit of why they went away from Google. It's probably 95% is the we hate Google thing, and there's 5% of, well, Google they don't do this and they don't do that with their app, their maps, and we wanted to do that.
It's the other way around. They wouldn't release certain chunks of data that Apple requires them to release and things like that. It's okay for Apple to have proprietary data and not show anyone else, but it's not okay for anybody else to have some and not show Apple.
So while we're improving maps, you can try alternatives by downloading map apps from the App Store like Bing, MapQuest, and Waze, W-A-Z-E, or use Google or Nokia Maps by going to their websites and creating an icon. I don't know. I don't like that. I use the Where Is on mine. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Got the Log Boy going on.
Well, that's Census, isn't it? Telstra.
Yeah. It's good enough. It's good. Gets you from A to B. And look, as we said last week, look, this stuff, every time there's something sent to Apple, it's going to get fixed. It's just, I'm sure Google didn't start out, razzle dazzle. Probably started out a bit, how's your father as well. So
just quickly while we're on, I've got a few other stories as well, but while we're just on Apple, I've got one quick, and this is mainly a warning. It's a problem I heard about, and I thought it was only related to the States, but apparently it happens here as well. Since upgrading to iOS 6, users worldwide have reported that their data usage has gone up, and it's an error in the Wi-Fi. And what happens when you turn your Wi-Fi on is it's still actually using your 3G or LTE or whatever particular data network you're on. Now, basically, they're saying that, obviously you can chew it up pretty quick because the phone is accessing two data networks, so the speed is huge. But it is obviously affecting all the carriers. It is affecting Telstra, Optus, Vodafone, all that. Although how you got data on Vodafone is beyond me anyway. But basically it said Apple has released or is in the process releasing a patch for it, an over-the-air patch. And basically you should keep an eye on all your data yourself, but you should be able to also get a rebate back from if you get a $6,000 bill, basically that should be void if you can prove, that you're at home and you're on your network, and which you can do with data logs pretty simply. But yeah, basically you can claim back the excess usage if you've gone stupid over that. So it's something to be aware of, something to keep an eye on.
There's another thing, like something that I've got a bit of it's not going to happen to me, but it quite easily could have happened to me, is because I joined Telstra, say, midway through my normal billing cycle of, say, broadband, so everything goes on the one bill. So what happens is, if you've got a gig a month, or they divide that by 30 and times it by how many days left in your billing cycle, and that's how much gig you've got to use, right? Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I can handle that. But I'm wondering if that's the same for voice calls, and I guess it probably is.
It would. Oh, hang on, it depends, because I started my billing cycle in the previous iPhone on the 13th of the month, and my end of my cycle wasn't the end of the month; it was the 13th of the following month. So I got a full 30 days.
Well, I had say like 15, so I'm not going to hit any limit because my usage is pretty low because most of the time I'm here just doing Wi-Fi anyway. But what I mean is, well, I read the documentation when I got the phone, and I can't remember reading about this particular issue. Like if I went hell for leather, smash the gig out, then they're going to turn around and say, well, that was only actually 500 meg that you had because you only had half a month. I don't know if I actually was advised that this was going to happen, and the first month would be calculated like this. So I don't know. That was just something that I was aware of. It's not going to cause me an issue, but something to think about if anyone else.
There's an easy way to check. There's an easy way to check that, Glenn. On your phone.
The app.
Just go to. You got to take it off Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And type in.
Most of the providers have an app now.
Well, this one is just a web browser. You can do it.
Well, I've got a Telstra
take it off
app.
Wi-Fi.
I've got a Telstra app.
Yeah.
Does it
Telstra every.
Pardon?
Telstra every day, and it actually is really good because it updates pretty much within a couple of hours of your usage.
No, well, this one I've got's called Telstra 24/7, and it's got my whole bill on it: broadband, phone, and everything.
Can you see your usage on it? Your current usage?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it updates within a couple of hours. It's pretty good. Within 1 or 2 hours of using data, it'll show up. Sometimes even quicker than that. So it's really good. I use that on my phone as well, which is handy, especially if you do listen to. Going back to the app earlier about listening to online radio and things like that. It's really good if you can monitor how much data you are using, because you listen to something like Twit radio and it uses 120. It uses 56k mono.
Yeah, it's hardly anything.
Which is not much. You listen to radio.thesecrethub.com and
you have to sell your house.
We're on 128, so we're on double the bandwidth.
Well, just interesting while we're on this topic.
Just on that, on the apparently on that TuneIn app that Garth was talking about, which I have, which is pretty cool. It's 1 megabyte per hour that uses.
Right. That's all right.
Well, it depends on what
they're streaming at.
The station's streaming at.
Let's take an average.
The most common is either 96 or 128. That's the most common.
But you're looking about a meg an hour. I reckon that'd be about average. So that's all right. You could have that on all day. You'd be right.
Yeah.
But now this is
absolutely.
that's the app there. We're right there. So that's pretty cool. Where are we? There we go. Now, just interestingly enough, is that today I know I've used 50 meg of data.
Ooh.
50 meg.
Where have you been? But you've been at home on the Wi-Fi.
I haven't been out anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere.
So you're prone to that
problem that we're talking about.
Yep.
So
it's not quite as obvious because you are still using the Wi-Fi, but you are also using the 3G. So there's at the moment, without getting the update, the only workaround is to put your phone into airplane mode and use the Wi-Fi.
So you said there's an update coming out, Will?
There is an update, and some networks have it. I know all the American networks have been patched. Is it
a network patch? Not an Apple patch.
It's an
over-the-air update.
Well, I think with iPhone, it doesn't come over the air. You've got to plug it into your iTunes every now and again.
No, apparently this one's actually going to be over the air.
Oh, okay.
They do have the facility to do it, and it's only used for things like this where it affects virtually everything.
Yeah, right. Well, how do you know when it's happened? Is it a version? Is it given a version?
Yeah, you go from, off the top of my head, you go from like version 13 to version 13.1 or something. I don't know. Every carrier is going to have a different version. And you'll have to go to your particular carrier's website to find out what version they're using.
Now, Milo says in the chat room you can't use Wi-Fi in airplane mode, but I thought you could.
You should be able to.
Yeah, I think you can.
So the last couple
you can use Wi-Fi in airplane mode. Just make sure you've got a blanket on top of yourselves.
I think you can. I think once you stick it in the airplane mode, Wi-Fi will turn off, but you just go back and turn it back on again.
Yeah, you turn that on and nothing else. That's right.
Yep. All right. Any other stories?
I do. Quickly, I'll get away from Android for a sec because I know you guys don't like me when I talk about Android.
That's all right.
We love it. We love it.
Talk away.
So just quickly, well, there are a couple of birthdays. One is, of course, the 50th anniversary of Bathurst, starting this year. So that'll be pretty cool. There's also another 50th anniversary of the first vehicle crossing across the Simpson Desert, which is a G60 Patrol, which is what I happen to own.
Yeah, right.
So I find that really exciting. There was actually
Your car that old, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But was it trucked across or did it drive across?
No, it was the first. It went across with a cruiser. Two cruisers, and they were doing geo surveying. Had all the equipment, fuel, tires, had the whole lot. And by about halfway across the desert, the only vehicle still running was the patrol. It had all three crews, like the crews from the other two cars, plus all the equipment from the other two vehicles, all on board.
Yep,
Nice.
and an iPhone.
Yeah,
No,
it made it all work. They went over approximately 1,000 parallel sand dunes. It wasn't. I mean, it's across Australia these days. You can do it in a couple of days with, a few days without too much effort because there's tracks. But back then, you got to think there was no tracks, nothing but soft stand. So they had something like over 100 punches.
And cactuses.
Holy shit.
It's pretty neat, And there's actually a doco out if you are interested.
How do you get a puncher in sand?
Very easily,
Echidna.
because, well, if you've had a fire through there, anything that was living is now basically once fire hits a bit of timber, it pretty much hardens it, turns it to like a steel spike.
Right.
So if there was a tree or a stump or a burnt out, bush, and you go over a dune, you come down onto that, it just goes straight through your tire.
There's plenty of burnout bushes up in surface, just quietly. Okay.
Oh, yeah, they're all over the place. Hollywood Showgirls, I think it's called.
And one more birthday. I'd like to. I hold this one near and dear because it's almost the same birthday as mine. Is happy 30th birthday to the CD.
Oh, nice. Nice.
30 years ago, 2 days ago, a game-changing pair of products were announced. Billy Joel's 52nd Street on this compact disc, and the Sony CDP-101, the first ever audio CD player.
Oh, now why did they make them 70 minutes?
You should have
or 80
the
minutes?
Cliff Richard wide for sound come on in the background, Glenn. You should have had that ready.
Oh, what a song! What a song!
Oh,
Did
horrible.
you know Kim had never
Horrible
heard that
song.
song before? I said,
Really?
Yeah, I said, wide for sound, Keith. What's his name? And she goes,
Cliff
no.
Richard.
Cliff Richard. He goes, no. I went,
Who's
no.
this Kim?
Yeah.
She's on drugs.
Oh no, that's what I said. I said, yeah.
No, if she knew Cliff Richard, she would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all right. So CD, that's good. Now I heard a rumor that the CD is the length that it is because the guy that invented it wanted to fit on his bloody Chopin,
Yeah, the entire concerto or something is 74 minutes.
That's right. That's apparently why the CD is that odd number. But then they squeeze it out to 80.
It's 740 meg, but with later technologies, we managed to squeeze 800 meg out of a CD.
Oh, we're good, aren't we?
And yet, ironically,
Humans.
a friend of mine sent me a CD the other day with our wedding photos and stuff on it, and it cost them like $6 because they used the CD thing. I said, dude, why didn't you go and buy a $2 memory stick and pay 30 cents for postage?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
You would have got like a 4 gig
Who
card.
uses CDs anymore?
yeah. I don't use
They
them
do.
much.
Well, I still do because some installs like Windows XP, like I have a legitimate Windows XP, but the disk is that damaged it won't read it.
But you can still put
And
it.
I thought I'd just burn it onto DVD. No, you
Just
can't.
clean it. I
doesn't
just
work.
clean them.
Oh, you
Oh,
can't.
no, the top's scratched. It won't clean. No, you can't put it onto DVD. It won't read because it doesn't install DVD drivers because it doesn't know about it. So you've got to install it actually onto a CD. So then I had to hunt around to try and find a CD, and I didn't have one, so I had to go down to the $2 shop and pay $3 for a CD.
But
Here's
isn't
an easy one. Just get Windows 7. We'll be done with it, mate.
No, hang on.
I do. No, it's for a project.
Hang on. I've got a question about that.
Oh, hang on. You've got something in your cupboard, Glenn, that you might be able to give him.
Well, I've got me 500 copies of Vista.
Yeah.
No. Well, so if you put onto a DVD, You need the DVD drivers on the computer before the computer will read the DVD.
And the DVD reader.
When DVD, well, yeah, DVD burner, but that's no big deal. But when you put it onto DVD and it starts up, it boots up, and then it goes to Windows is searching for your hardware.
But you've got a DVD drive in there with a CD
but up
in
until that
it.
point, it sees it as a
CD.
When it boots up because it creates a separate basically file as a boot file. It recognizes that because it fakes the floppy drive. As soon as it leaves that premise and goes into the actual boot where it starts searching for files, it's like in the old days, unless you preloaded the atapi.sys into your auto config, auto exe config.sys. Unless you loaded atapi into that, your floppy drive couldn't find the CD. Well, it's the same principle with this. The CD, when it first boots, emulates the floppy drive because if you do a dir command, you can find a drive. And then it doesn't have the driver to emulate the DVD because DVDs burn differently than a CD. They burn from the outside in, not the inside out.
Yeah, right. Well, you could always use your XP floppies, the 24 of them or whatever it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a floppy drive anywhere in this house.
Oh, look, I might have two. I might have two in the back of the cupboard somewhere. But,
the only closest thing I have to a floppy is a USB zip drive.
Oh, God, I'm glad you went in a different direction.
Yeah. You're hard up, Will.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, they are pretty hard.
So, okay, now, Eric, you got any stories to finish off with?
Yep, one more. Oracle CEO to experiment on his Hawaiian island.
Whee.
Oracle CEO, because he's just bought his Hawaiian island,
Oh, lucky.
says he plans to turn the Hawaiian island that he recently bought into a laboratory for experimenting with more environmentally sound ways of living.
He wants to turn it into a lavatory.
Laboratory.
Good luck.
Ellison says, well, it's one big toilet. Ellison says he hopes to convert seawater into fresh water on the 141 square mile island. That's huge.
That is.
That's 300 square kilometers on the island of Lanai. He wants electric cars, increased fruit exports to Japan and other markets, blah, 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 blah. He has a fortune of $41 billion, and he bought the most of Lanai Island from billionaire David Murdoch in June for an undisclosed price. So good on you, Larry.
Right. Good on you.
11 cents and a BJ under the dock, yeah.
All right, well, I've got another story, Will, to finish off with. Have you got anything?
I've got a couple of quick ones, yeah.
Okay, go for it.
If the three people out there who bought the Sony Xperias, you'll be glad to know that the PlayStation mobile app has landed in the Play Store. So now you can play your PlayStation games on your Sony Xperia because they're going to look great on a 3-inch screen. Basically, another story: a quarter of Android devices are running Android 4, and 55% are still running Gingerbread. So it's good. So all the old Eclair and Jelly Bean and things like that are all slowly starting to disappear, which is a good thing. There's no bad thing there. So hopefully we're getting towards one single sort of operating system. And also just quickly, what would you say would be the most common word on Twitter since July?
Probably starts with F.
The most common word would be probably something like "you are." Is it an abbreviation or an actual word?
No, it's a compressed word. It starts with an F and ends in IT. It has
truck it.
And that word has been used more than 2.5 million times on Twitter since July. And some of the other ones that are up there is "so gay" is 896,000.
Wow. That's so gay.
"No homo" has been used 820,000. So yeah, there's and in Australia, the word "effort" has been used more than 50% of that usage has come from Australia.
Wow, effort.
Because we make no effort.
Preceded by the word no, that's right.
No,
All right.
F dash it has
That's the
even though we've got virtually no Twitter users, we have over 50% of the usage of that word.
Oh, truck it. All right.
So,
All right, so I got my little last story here, and it's all about AMD. I don't know, do you pick this one out, Will? AMD brings Android apps to Windows 8. Gadgets. Did you get that one, Will?
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, gadgets built around chips made by AMD will come optimized to run the Android apps. The collaboration between AMD and software from BlueStacks lets the device run the 500,000 apps more usually found on Android phones. By contrast, Microsoft reportedly only has a few thousand apps in the store, which will they need to get a wiggle on, don't they? Because 2,000 is not going to cut the mustard. The Android apps will... Yep.
Keep going.
The Android apps will be available on Windows 8 devices via AMD's App Zone Player inside this code from BlueStacks that acts as a wrapper around the mobile program so they can run on desktop, laptops, and tablets. There you go. Yes, BlueStack is also talking to other PC makers to get its software installed on PCs and to be put together in the factory. Also will work on Intel-powered devices, including Macs, but typically have to be installed after a gadget has been bought and booted up.
Yeah. Now, I just, to prove that I've been using it for a long time, have just gone to load BlueStacks, but of course it's got an update. But yeah, I've been using BlueStacks for probably 12 months now, and it's a fantastic program. Not only does it let you log in as yourself, like the same email address you would use for Android, so it crosses over and uses Android phones, like your same settings and whatever. But yeah, it lets you run basically any app that's available on Android. Actually, here, this is it here. If I can get it to show it, I don't know how well this will work. Let's see. But basically, this is the BlueStacks, a fresh install that I've just done. And, I don't have a lot on here at the moment, but you can see down the side here, you can install apps such as Angry Birds. You can actually make phone calls. It will piggyback off your phone usage. You can make SMSs. You can, words for friends, all the stuff that you would expect to see.
Nice.
Plus any app that you would normally use.
Boot up the Angry Birds.
Hey?
Can you start?
Angry Birds?
Yeah, start that. Let's have a look.
Yeah. No, I have to go back to the home screen. Hang on. It's been a while. Install. Okay, it's going to install that first.
No, don't worry. So what this is so can you download the Android app from Android off your PC? Does it have to go through your phone, or do you just jump on the PC and this is just emulates?
This works straight off your Windows.
That's handy.
You can search for anything. You can install any app. You can choose which particular version you want it to run. Like I'll run. Let's just make up something here. It brings up the on-screen keyboard as well if you need it to.
Is your screen there flashing? Is it like?
Yeah, it doesn't like the screen cap. But
yeah.
But yeah. So basically, that's it's a really good app. As I said, I've used it for quite a while. It's really handy, especially if you got a phone like mine that's an older phone now. My phone is nearly 2 years old, so the internal storage capability of the phone is really reduced on what it was. So basically, if I know I'm not going to keep an app or I want to trial an app, I install it on here first. Okay, it might be a little bit slower or something might be a little bit weird, but for the most part, it works fine. And then I trial it on here, and if I like it, I install it on my phone. If I don't like it, it's no big deal.
And I suppose, like as a tinkerer and stuff, that sort of stuff stirs something deep down inside of me. But it's just it's good. I think it's good. That's where Android I think does well. But it's just most of the stuff is just not ready for prime time.
See what's handy too. We were using a invoicing app at work, a stock keeping and invoicing, and it had a online database. Now the cool part was I could come home and just by logging into BlueStack, I could grab all the information off my phone, work with it in BlueStack, and then upload it. So I'm using a full screen, desktop, instead of just using my phone, using my normal keyboard, using my normal mouse, typing everything up, adding photos to it and whatever that I've taken with my phone, and putting it on a central database. And it's so much more, from that point of view, its productivity boost was amazing. I went from being able to do like one inventory item every 5 minutes to like 5 a minute.
Well, I think if I got to that stage, like I don't think you can do things like that with the iPhone. But if I got to that stage, like I would just go and get a Bluetooth keyboard, and use the iPad, use the keyboard and the iPad like that. Yeah,
I mean, you can do that as well. But when you've got this option and you're already sitting in front of your computer doing stuff anyway,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, look, that's good. I like that sort of stuff. But yeah, anyway, that's good. All right. Well, I think we're pushing the envelope towards the edge of the show, if that makes any sense. Eric, have you fallen asleep? Do you like BlueStacks?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah. So you got anything else, or you finished for this week?
Oh, that'll do.
All right, Will, you're done. Done like a dinner.
Yeah, that's the main one. So, actually, one I don't have a story for. I received an supposed email from Twitter yesterday saying my account had been hacked and they've reset my password. Please click this link to submit your new password.
Yep.
Now, it's kind of a bit of a pain, actually, because Twitter recognized that I had been sent the fake email address and had preemptively actually locked my account, because obviously a particular mailing list went out and my name was on it. So they knew about it. So I did actually have to change my password, but I went to twitter.com and logged in through there. They sent me a new password through my email address. So what had actually happened, if I had have gone and clicked on this link in the email that I was originally sent from the spam, it would have simply taken me to a spam site, and then obviously they would have had my password. But Twitter was one step ahead of them. They cancelled that anyway, so even if they had have got my password, that it would have reset anyway. So I have to say I was very happy in that situation. Even though it was a bit of a pain, I had to unnecessarily reset a password. I'd much prefer to have to do that than to have my account hacked and my 11 followers upset.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds good. That's good. All right, let's get out of here.
Speaking of followers, you can you can do the drill. You know it better than I do. You've been doing this longer.
Well, you can if you want to follow Will, me, or that's good grammar, isn't it? If you want to follow Will, Eric, or myself on Twitter, my Twitter is at Aussie Tech Heads. Will is at Mr. Tompkinson, and Eric is at Eric Franco, Eric with a K. Or send us an email, Glenn, Eric, or Will at aussietechheads.com.au.
Without the explanation, that won't work.
That's right. There's not 500 U's on that. All right, and can I just say a quick little thank you? That you probably know, those that go to the webpage probably know. So I did put a little donation, buy us a coffee icon up there. I just want to. I've thanked everyone individually, but I just want to thank you as a whole. Thanks for everyone that's pushed the button. That's great. That's great.
Is that what that does?
Yeah, buys me a coffee anyway.
I might have to push the button. Hang on, do I need money in my account first?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, I won't push the button yet then.
But all right,
I need you guys to go to my YouTube channel and click on the ads on my videos so I can get some money so that then I can click on the button for Cleanse, see?
That's right.
It's circular.
Share the love. Share the love. But so
pay
that's good.
Pay it forward.
But I'll tell you what, I would much rather that you checked out the hosting site. If you've got a website somewhere, I would much rather you check out our hosting site and aussietechheads.com.au/hosting. Check that out, and if it's for you, please come on board. Love to have you on. Love to have you on. If there's a plan that we're not offering as a standard plan on there, just give me an email, and I'm sure we can work something out. And look, US hosting is there. It's just not on the site. If you want US hosting, give me a call. I don't know why you. Well, I do know why you would, but really, if you're just doing a little site in Oz, you'd want to stick with the Australian ones. Give us all a fair go, Fair crack. All right, that's it. So thanks, boys. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Eric.
No worries.
No problem.
Barring accidents, we'll see you all next week. And
Yes.
Hope so.
and we'll
Good
see.
to be back, by the way.
That is.
I missed it.
Back in the swing of things.
2
Good.
weeks in a row, and I'm on the ball.
Good stuff. I noticed that little Jack Daniels. Yeah, that's probably helped.
That could be what it is.
That might be. You'd be like John Law sitting there with a little rum and coke.
I have to do that next week. I've got a 11.25 bottle of Jimmy there. I'll see if I can finish that before the show.
And just tell me how and just tell me how good looking I am. He likes Lee Sales, doesn't he? Eh? He likes old Lee. Good on him. All right. So till next week, lounge listeners, viewers. Good night. Bye bye.
See ya.